Hell yeah. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Live on Junkhead, we've got Daniel and new guest, never met. So with that being said, Daniel, the reins are yours.
All right, so I want to introduce everyone to Sean.
They call me the
What's
Viking.
up, Sean?
I'm doing good. They call me the Viking or immortal around here.
Hell yeah. What's up, dude? Welcome to the show, my man.
All right.
So Cameron, I thought for this episode maybe we do something more sporadic.
Okay.
I got this good guest, and you want to be an interviewer, and I, still have to think of how I can be a better interviewer. So it's going to be you and my guy Sean, and I'm going to add some commentary in along the way, and we're going to see how this rides out.
Okay. Hell yeah. All right. So, Sean, I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, just a little intro to you.
Well, I'm 50 years old, and I'm actually homeless here on the streets of Lawrence, although I shouldn't be. I have an RC contract that they stopped recognizing a long time ago because every chick I'd have sex with would sue me for the apartment that they would give me, so they just stopped honoring me.
Shit.
Yeah.
Now, for clarification, what's an RC contract? What's that?
RCA.
Oh, RCA. Oh shit, man. You were doing the big time.
Yeah, actually,
So,
I'm the original Rob Zombie. Actually, you wouldn't believe that. I can't. I sang for Sex or Cisco, and then we hired Ed.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then we
Okay.
hired Ed, who actually looked a lot like the disguise. See, if you're not in an already known band, you have to wear a disguise to be a rock star.
I feel it.
A long time ago,
So, for sure, like, what part of the country are you from?
Well, I was born in Nashville, Tennessee, in
Nice.
1970. So I'm like a hillbilly.
Hey, Nashville's a fun town, though. I've been a few times.
And I used to go to KU. I am an environmental studies major from up there, but I actually have 6 military PhDs, and I have 3 PhDs in chemistry from Cambridge.
Damn.
That's not
man.
been right. Well, nobody really actually has recognized all these things because the military PhDs are pretty much top secret. And my old professor, Dario Speedwagon, has yet to publicly announce my PhD, which I've been working on since age 10, on Facebook. And eventually he'll roll over all my accomplishments on Facebook.
I feel it.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
not. Currently, I play guitar every now and then. I do a little bit of psychedelic artwork. And I've been sewing up patches on my old worn out. Like I tore my pajamas in half, cut them in half, and then I'm making 2 halves for the winter, attach them to my cool hoodie, and I'm patching up my hoodie. And it's this Lucy Moose outfit. It's kind of funny. But
For sure.
Up, real easy with a one piece, so I cut it in half. It's my little project. Got nothing.
Yeah, I used to work in military surplus, and a lot of that like really cheap gear. A lot of I worked a lot of hand in hand with like folks who were either living off the grid by choice or not by choice.
Actually, I'm out here on I'm on an undercover mission. Really, you wouldn't believe that, but I actually have a 2-foot file out at the base.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
let me explain.
for sure, yeah, go in, man.
Let me explain how I got my rank. You wouldn't believe my rank, which is actually general. But right.
Wow, a fucking general like which star?
Like, yeah. Well, I'm actually a 5-star general because I was the leader of the country, but my wife cheated on me, and so they took away that. And I was homeless at the time.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm actually one of the highest ranked there is. And the reason why is because I scored higher on every single test, including bombing, than everybody else in all 4 branches. And I graduated from the Marine Corps too, and also went to flight school.
God damn, dude. What have you not done in the military? Like what?
Well, to keep my rank the hard way, I had to do everything that anybody had ever done that was outstanding. I had to either equal it or do better. Including
So you had to outperform them each time?
or at least equal it.
Okay.
It's like, when Chuck Yeager took plane out into space and then it stalled, I had to do the same thing too. And that's the last time I flew a plane, was doing the Chuck Yeager thing.
After that, you were just kind of like, I'm good, that kind of thing.
That, right?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
figured out I invented steady state hydrogen technology, which has no moving parts engine, but governments have to spend $1 billion to buy my technology, and I can't authorize that as a general. I'd have to have everybody else authorize. But I figured out how to stop a flat spin by using like a triple layer tertiary rockets that are using my technology. We could program in the course of the flat spin and then reverse it and come out of the flat spin right away and just go right into space.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I just figured that out a few months ago. And no one's tried it yet because my technology was invented about 30 years ago. And this is something else you're not going to believe. There was 6 of us that made multi-millions in one night. And I was the least of those. I made like 20 million off of 10 million. And how I did that was by renting out a hotel in Las Vegas, giving everybody there $1,500 to gamble with of my money. But if they wanted to leave or spend beyond that, they had to use their own. And then I had all these trucks I bought wholesale, hired models to go, sold out all the trucks, made all the money for the rooms, and made a lot of money on the table and stuff. And then foot blankets. I was hitchhiking underneath I stopped out the skirts of Denver, and my blanket kept pulling up over my feet, and I kind of shivered. And so I started sewing it up. This dude walked across and said he'll be back in a couple hours. He was interested in what I was doing because he'd seen me doing that. So I sewed it all on the bottom, about 1.5 feet up, and it caught my foot. So by the time he came back, he saw, like, hey, that worked really good. And so he decided, hey, you want to invest in that? So we made these psychedelic versions that were tie-dyed, and they all sold out within a week, and we made 20 million.
Son of a gun. Man, you flipped that quick, man. Not bad.
Well, now let me explain what happened after that. So they were afraid all of us were going to disturb the market, and they were going to destroy all these old castles over across the sea. And so they offered all of us a castle and a kingship for like real low price. And so I bought the Bram Stoker Dracula castle.
Damn.
$10 million.
Holy shit, that's incredible.
Right. And not only that, they threw in a second castle that was right by the Mediterranean.
2 for 1.
2 for 1.
Damn.
So I'm actually the 6th king of Romania. My American name is Sean Michael Bedient, but my kingly name over there is Sean Vladimir Dracula from the Dracula castle. That's why I thought it was kind of crazy.
Cool. My cat's name is Dracula.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Dracula got to meet Dracula. Right. Hell yeah.
And with it, I got a cargo ship. And okay, now so my terrain is very mountainous, and the Bram Stoker is like half carved into the mountain, and it's like really hilly by the Mediterranean. Now the 5th king, the one he made like 25 million, he has this like arc of land all around mine that's all agricultural, and he had a little dinghy port. And his name is John. He actually plays all the known, piano stuff like Mozart and stuff. And they threw in Mozart's big organ into the castle, so he would come over and visit and play on my castle organ.
Damn.
And he and I together built a satellite. And this is when I came up with the technology. Is I built a satellite and did it all myself. Figured out everything myself. I made as many different wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum as I could on scan system, and I made it armored. I made it have like closing and opening irises. I figured out a steady state hydrogen laser. Basically, it's up above me all the time, about 129 miles up on space. And over there at the castle, there's a big monitor screen system. Okay, now there's like 3 wavelengths of the human spectrum that are down lower than the visible, like that Curlian is on. So we saw something that people had never seen before on the spectrum. There's 11 structures on the planet that are completely invisible, except on the spectrum. So you wouldn't believe it, but right now we're inside like a 120-mile tall castle to go down in space. Yeah. Right.
Holy shit.
Crazy to think of.
Okay, now
damn, that is so cool.
It appears different in each 3 spectrums. So And one of the
Wow.
spectrums, you see everybody's aura, and everything's kind of see-through. And in the second spectrum, the castle's solid, and everybody's aura is so visible. Now, the third spectrum, there's not even an Earth here at all. It's like this black rock with the crevice going down, and we're hovering above an abyss. And inside the black rock is like precious metals and gemstones and stuff, and the castle's made out of the black rock from the.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like so unbelievable.
Holy cat.
Yeah.
Well, it's so psychedelic and powerful. I mean, you know, and like it sucks as like somebody who is like, you know, I can't go out and like do things right now because of like crazy stuff in my life, but like it's just the ability to like interact with the different spectrums and things like that would be really powerful. Now, I gotta ask you, like, doing what you do, I'm sure you've rubbed shoulders with like some like crazy people, some people that are very powerful.
So
Give me some examples, my man. I want to know who you talk to.
Well, my friend Adam Malama just lives right over here, about 3 blocks away.
Obama?
No, Adam Malama. He's a skinny little kid. He's like,
Oh, I don't.
he doesn't go out. He's like real nice most of the time.
Okay.
He just occasionally just flips out all the way.
Yeah. Have you ever been to like any private islands?
A long time
like-
ago. I've been over the whole planet a long time ago. I went over the whole world. But
Yeah.
it's been like 30 years. I'm 50 years old now. Back when I was in the bands I was in 6 different bands. You wouldn't believe the last band I was in. I helped all the hair bands with their lyrics because
Yeah.
I'm a really good poet.
Like who?
All of them.
I mean, but like, because we have an
Well,
audience, right?
okay, well-
Like we want the audience to know.
Well, like Danzig is one of the first ones I started at.
Danzig.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. Let me know.
Yeah,
Did
it was
you
just
have a
me and
hand?
Glenn Danzig for Satan's Child number 6 because the rest.
Did
of
you
them-
have a hand in writing Mother? That's one of my favorite Danzig
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah, I did.
Hey, kudos, man. I love that poetry, dude.
That
That's
was
some
a
good
great-
shit.
As a matter of fact, I'm the one that drew the art for all those covers. Like,
Oh, yeah, that stuff's
How the Gods Kill,
iconic.
I'm the one that did the demon in the How the Gods Kill.
Okay.
You would
Okay.
turn up How the Gods Kill all the way, like on the biggest screen there is, and turn the tent up all the way. You would see me sitting there with long hair in the shadows, but you can't see it unless you have the tent turned all the way up on the biggest screen. 'Cause that's how you program the mixer. You can program the mixer to reveal those things. And
Holy cow.
like if you were to play Danzig 1 or 2 1,000 times, it plays only Glenn on the first 1,000, but then after that it'll play me on 1,001, and then it'll play a mixture of he and I sing from then on.
So
Like
it's
Blood and Tears. Like sometimes they played me singing Blood and Tears.
Oh, so it's
Like
like a
if you were to
hidden
watch
track.
In the Dark or let's see something that it's been a long time. Something in the dark.
so it's like a hidden thing. You
Like
have
I was on stage in the one, like I was wearing a mask in the one, singing that one.
right on.
Okay.
See now, the last band I was in.
Let me ask you this: like, who have you, since you like did the band stuff, who have you partied with that was like really cool? Like, did you party with somebody where you're like, man, that was a good night, that was good?
Well, I would say that Guns N' Roses had the best chicks hanging around. I mean,
Oh, I can imagine so. Oh yeah, because like that was like at about the time when Axl Rose was dating what was it, Aaron Beverly, the daughter.
I actually won the contest singing November Rain on stage.
Yeah, I fucked her. I fucked her though.
Well,
I bet you-
guess who the first chick that recognized me as a rock star was?
Who?
Christina Applegate.
What?
Oh my dude, that's like
Well, is that
top
okay?
tier
Like,
babe.
Yeah, I fucked her
actually,
too.
I'm the one that sang for Cinderella on Night Songs.
Okay.
The regular
Did
band.
you
members-
have any like
the regular
involvement in
band member is
Heartbreak
this chick
Station?
called- Well, let me finish. Okay,
Sure.
The regular band member, he's like 6'8", got really
Okay.
dark hair, but his girlfriend and the rest of the band thought I had the better voice, so they wanted me to be the voice of it. So they tricked him to go all day long, and then she had sex with me at the house, which was in nobody's school.
Hell
In the
yeah,
house,
dude.
nobody's school. That's my house. I paid my first royalty check for, but they sued for living rights, so they're still living there today. I'm sure.
Fucking
he
hell.
he would verify that. If everybody else denied it, I'm sure that he would be the first one to verify that. And
Hell
Christine
yeah.
Applegate, she was so cool because she was the first chick I ever met that knew engines.
Yeah.
All the guys she'd ever been with tried to, ditch her. So she learned how to fix cars. Now, I was helping out with Turbo at the time, like, for Judas Priest. And so I was the one filming the scene, like, if you see Christina Applegate, she's chasing after the tire in the Turbo, the video Turbo. That was me. I was filming that particular scene myself.
No
damn.
shit.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So tell me, man, does Christina Applegate have, some good vagine? Is her vagine very nice?
Yeah, I was only scrawny 145 pounds back then, And back then, they figured out that the beautiful people would screw right away and the ugly ones wouldn't.
Yeah.
So all the people that were into relationships long term, they got down on us people that were into right away.
Yeah.
And so we could almost get killed about it. So, like, we had to, like if you look on the video, Turbo, she's revealing her boobs, but with the machine thing, they wouldn't let us do it straight out. Like, she had to do it very discreet-like, so she wouldn't get murdered.
Whoa.
Yeah, really.
Fucking so
Yeah,
like.
people are pretty hardcore about that sort of stuff.
So like in Hollywood, have you ever been to like any like orgies or like sex cults?
It's been a long time since I've been in Hollywood. I've been to a few parties, like the one. What was that video? Let's see, it's one of the videos. She's in the bathroom scene. I'd have to look through Britney Spears' stuff.
You fucked her too?
Well, I'm actually married.
Oh, hell
I'm actually
yeah.
married to Britney.
You're married to Britney Spears.
But I'm actually currently married to Natalie Portman. Also, I'm a big one. Yeah. You know how?
Damn, dude.
I'd forgotten that I'm married. See, it was me to play.
You're married to all the hottest babes.
I'll tell you why, because I'm the one who played Anakin Skywalker. And so
Damn.
that was me and her on a real other world.
Yeah.
And so they really married us.
Wow.
And I really thought she was dead.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? She's an immortal like me. I don't know if you guys believe in immortality, but I'm one of those Highlander type of guys.
Yeah.
I've been alive for a long time. But
Oh shit! For how long, my guy?
well, I was Christopher Columbus. But
You were Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
Well, fucking.
See, you know the stone that the Vikings did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was the one that carved that.
Okay, I gotta ask. Do you have any like juicy Christopher Columbus gossip? Like what? Like was he the type of guy if you went out with him, like he would like pay for the pints, or like he was kind of rude? Or
like back then, the crystal meth had this flubby component where somebody time traveled and they brought a rolly back. They had the flubby, which be rolly continually. It would release after a certain threshold amount of this component, and it would trigger a burn of all the last 10 days of your stored energy in your rib cages to a new girth. So yeah, I like popped out to like 10x4, the smallest. And they
holy cow!
I got laid by all the women, and so they held me down and turned me back down before that, and then they left me on a desert island, and I died of starvation over and over again 100 times before finally I came to and I realized I'm at my bare minimum. I wasn't gonna ever get skinnier than that. And hey, that means I could maybe walk underneath the ocean. So I tried. I actually died underneath the water and came back to, and then I made a seaweed belt pouch, and that wasn't enough to keep me under the water. And then I made a seaweed backpack. The two combined held me down in the water. I died underneath the water, came back to life, breathing the water. I walked all the way to America.
Underwater?
Underwater.
You're fucking Aquaman.
Well,
God damn.
It's kind of
That's
wild.
impressive.
Like, I'm still scared of the water, though. Even though it's like it takes these extreme circumstances before you even do something.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything like that. The last time I remember dying was in the episode where Richie died at the Saracen track, because I used to race a Saracen too, and in France, because I'm the one that owns the barge, and I'm the one that wrote the storyline for Highlander the series. What I would do is I'd walk in the park with Peter Wingfield, who plays Mythos, the 5,000-year-old immortal, and he knows exactly. Yeah, he knows exactly how long each section of a show takes to film, and so I would just come up with each section at a time, and he would just wear a lapel microphone and record it. And then they made me live it out at random. So
Oh shit!
Yeah, they filmed 4 different versions of it, too. Like we would change the politics, like, and what triggered my memory of the 4 different versions was on the show. There's one. I'm on the episode Courage. Like if you were to watch the episode Courage, it's me taking the
Okay.
bull off. Like if
I used to watch it as a kid, so I have some
Right.
familiarity.
Like if you imagine a straight hair and a Gestapo mustache. I've never worn a Gestapo mustache ever since. But I recognized myself wincing in pain once at 3rd or 4th time. I was like, hey, that should really happen. And that's what triggered my memory of all that. Because it was a long time ago.
Shit.
And so then I was also the one running from Brian, because Brian and I looked a lot alike. He's the guest sword fighter in that particular episode where Brian and Duncan go way back.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, I was running from Brian because I'd never tried drugs before. Like I bought this 1,500 bag of Coke and loved it. And,
That's a lot of
and
fucking
then
Coke.
Duncan grabbed. Well, I just started like he grabbed it and washed it down the thing. And so I really attacked Duncan. So it was me really attacking Duncan at the stage.
So that scene is actually you attacking him because he jumped
Yes.
your Coke?
Exactly.
Holy
Yeah, and then-
fuck.
okay, so my dealer, we made a special long-term burn for because I'm a chemistry PhD. Okay, so
Yeah.
and that's one of the things I did is like Brian had ordered a long-term version that would keep him awake nearly indefinitely, and so I worked with the dealer to burn that teener for him. Forgot all about it. Wanted some more. I actually shook him down one day, grabbed it out, and I sorted the whole thing up. So that's a live scene of me really sorting up the whole teener in my brain. He said, "Wow, dude, you're gonna be you're gonna be awake for a real long time someday," and it still hasn't kicked in. It's like when you snort that stuff, it doesn't really trigger right away. So maybe a burn situation. But the long-term part hasn't kicked in. But if you were to see a scan, I've seen the scan of my own brain with high-tech equipment that is starting to melt in,
Yeah. So you were alive during like World War II times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my old master, Eric, he goes by Eric the Red or Eric the Green. He would time teleport us back to the real event. Like say we were in the modern time, dictating it to Mythos, he would time teleport us back to the real time and really make me live it out. Like for real.
Whoa.
So
And use spells like hypnosis and stuff to make me forget
Is
about
Eric
it.
like a conduit, or is he just like somebody that has access to those time portals?
He's a general also.
Okay.
He earned his rank the hard way. Now,
hey Cameron,
I only
the
earned
mic over here.
What's up?
I can't hear you.
Oh, my bad.
I only learned 2 things as a general when I opened up my file for secret things. You're not going to believe it. The first thing it said is that magic is real.
Magic. You heard it here on Junkhead, folks. It's confirmed. Magic
Time.
is
Okay.
real.
Magic is real.
Yeah, because like
which is a top secret general. The second thing is that AIDS is just a conspiracy because we were opening up our legs too much and we were overexceeding the carrying capacity of our environment for the number of people we were making. So it's unfortunate if anybody got killed or anything like that. What they did is they came up with a conspiracy where they would come into your house, they'd put all these different kind of spiders, and then they would tell the nurses to squeeze them to give you Marsa, and then they'd concoct things that are kind of similar to that. But really, the actual AIDS conspiracy is really just a conspiracy.
Yeah. So since you were alive during World War II, does like 6 million sound like too much, or?
Well, you mean like slaughtering people at the concentration camps?
Yeah.
Like that? Well, you know,
I think yeah.
They
I
need
think
us
Daniel tried to
gladiating
get an
each other.
accurate read.
well, all I can remember, it's hard to remember a lot of those things because our minds don't remember this outlandish stuff until a trigger event we see or hear triggers
Yeah.
a memory of it. And it's hard to, it's hard to verify that stuff because Eric created this sorcery to make it seem like just a regular lifetime. So like I've lived only 50 years of lifetime experience over since the Dark Ages, basically, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell us, since you've been alive that long, do you ever get like pillaged, like burn villages down and shit? 'Cause that really sounds like the funnest part to me.
No, but if you watch the episode of Something Wicked, I'm the one that really got that dark quickening. And for a while, yeah, I really was kind of really bad. But what happened is my quickening triggered this bifurcation which doubled me entirely. I fought my own self
What? Like your clone?
Well, yeah, it's like a double of myself. Yeah.
Fuck,
Yeah, I
dude.
want against my own evil self. But then
Kind
I
of like a
actually had to
reflection of you.
Then I
kind of
had to
deal?
battle some guy with my claymore. I had a claymore, it's a big, heavy thing, and I was only like 145 pounds by then. Because the dude had a katana, so I'm like defending. Finally, kind of in preparation, and got him with an undercut. And won against
That sounds like the most intense, badass battle. A katana versus a claymore?
Right.
Bro, you go hard as fuck.
Okay, so I told you I'm the writer for that, right? Well, all I know is that all the immortals on that show were really immortals. Now, how this happened was there was a spilled potion from a long time ago. And there was this butterscotch rose bush that, like Eric and I were looking for plants to imbue our bodies with the quality of, as alcohol way back then. And this had nectar in it all the way up. And I just took the machete, cut it off, and it leaped back on itself. But, oh, hell yeah, we want our limbs to just come right back on and stuff.
What? Like a fucking, like a chameleon or something? Like
well,
a fucking
it just like magically went back. I had to run with the plant in my hands like 42 feet away or so before it stayed in my arms. And then it sprung up a whole new flower with nectar and all. So I took the original bag and we distilled it and we made push. But what happens, like, we had this high up mountain, and we made this kind of like Greek-like square like passage for the creek, and we tilted it upwards so it slowed down the water inside the lab. And I was just getting ready to try a sip of it when he came in with one of his summons and stalled me. I dropped it and spilled in. I took a sip of it. I got this blue flame coming off of it, and I was like, "Whoa, what the hell is this shit going on?" And he said, "Well, I want one of those." And he got a drink of that, and then it went down the mountain. See, this is hidden city called Port Crag Mountain. It's like a hidden bay. It has like 3 false inlets before if you check, following there's a bay on the inside of a hidden inlet. And if you're in Madrid, it looks like the rich people, it looks like it just goes onto the ocean. There couldn't be a hidden inlet. But that's where a hidden city was for a long time. Well, anyway, what happened was the potion got in, anybody that had just even a molecule of it as a dispersant to the environment became an immortal no matter what their lineage was.
Wow.
So it didn't matter your age
Damn.
or anything. All it mattered was that, so there was about like 6,000 immortals from way back then. And all of you, like, say the Lord of the Rings type thing, that stuff really kind of happened back then. But like everybody could order how it really happened. Like, when Gandalf and Minas Tirith, whether he just does staff damage.
Yeah.
Well, actually, both of them were really spelled up to the max in the Royal King spellbooks, and they expended all their spells, but they canceled each other out. So if everybody requested it, they would remake the movie to show all the spells. So we can see the versions where that's close to the dungeon.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man.
Shit.
So
My mind is blown right now.
Now let me go back to where I was at. Okay, so we made 4 different, like on the set each day, we made 4 different versions. It took about, I don't know, about a year to do all 120 episodes. But they would have
that makes a lot of sense because, like, I heard like the production time was really.
Okay, so these guys would have these mock battles with Duncan 4 times over. Okay, well, the women used to recognize me back then as a rock star. Nowadays, they don't even at all.
Yeah.
Okay, but over there in Europe, I would have sex with the top babes practically right away. But all these other guys have been doting on them and trying to develop relationships with them for all kinds of times. So when I'm living it out for real, they have these blue screen rooms where you don't even see the camera, but it shows through the blue, so they're filming without me even remembering.
Yeah.
It's not such a story.
What?
So these guys were really attempting to kill me for my quickening about getting laid, really. Because Duncan didn't want to have a child thing. I didn't give a fuck. I just get laid if they wanted me.
Yeah.
So I really had to battle like a lot of those guys. So some of those cookings are really real.
Fucking dudes rock.
Right.
Dudes rock.
Dudes rock 2020 for sure, man.
That's the anthem right there.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe.
So, I have a question for you. How did you end up in Kansas? So, like, what's the like?
Well, they wouldn't let me buy my own house out in California.
Okay.
Come back here, like they were afraid I was going to take over. Like, if you watch, I only sang for Ozzy Osbourne in one song, "No More Tears," and they had me. I was surfing back then. I had blonde hair, and I looked a lot like Zach Wilde, who we hired for the guitar part.
Yeah.
Now,
Wait, hold on a second. You're singing on my favorite Ozzy track?
right, but we had right. That's me with the black hair, but also like during
Props, bro. Props.
Okay, like the day before, I was in the blue room coming up with the riff.
The blue room.
Yeah, so like the lead part we mixed in. Now on stage it was Zach Wild. He picked up the riff right away for the live. All day long we sing it over and over again for an audience. But the day before was when they'd have me eat all I could for 3 days, and then they had me work out right before I went to the blue room. So I actually looked pretty buff. And then they skinified me again after that.
Skinified? What's that? Oh, skinified.
Yeah. You know, I'm not as buff as I was.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still a little bit buff, but after eating 3 all-I-can-eat meals and then doing that, I looked more buff.
Yeah.
Now Zach Wild, he has a cleft chin. Me, I just have a straight chin. Now you have to unlock the footage, but I'm the one that's shaking my head back and forth like that during the, like if you watch it, I'm the one that's shaking my head. Okay, that was in the blue room.
God damn. So tell us more about this blue room.
Well, the blue room, that's where you come up with, you know, footage. And we were using a mixer. So I was paid $50,000 to be the star of the video, and we were going to make 1 million copies of it with that $50,000, and I'm getting all the profit. So that's how I made $7 million.
Jesus.
Right, and we paid all them like $10,000. We paid Zach $10,000. Drum, I don't remember his name, $10,000, and Ozzy got the rest, and he did all the arrangements. Like he had 2 guest appearances on the video. He's the one sitting on the couch and at the piano. So the regular Ozzy was 2 guest appearances in there. So I'm the one arching my eyebrows, thinking these guys aren't even going to recognize me. I was thinking I'm never going to get my money, which is basically what happened because the church people here basically steal my royalty checks. I'm supposed to get $25,000 every 3 months. I never get it at all. But I'm not a deadbeat dad. All the children I've fathered and get some of it along the way.
How many kids do you have?
I don't know, maybe about 50 of them.
50 children. My man has been busting. My man
with hot babes too.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I'm currently married to Natalie Portman. Now, you know how I figured that one out? I didn't even remember that I even played Anakin. Okay, I didn't remember Star Wars shit is real because that's stuff to keep pretty top secret.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're putting me in this. I'm an RDU for a charge, and I'm getting ready to go to Hudson. And they said I get a conjugal. I was married to Kimberly Harrison at the time, so I thought they're putting me in the cell with my current wife, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that I would be put in with Natalie Portman. I'm like, well,
what?
That means I really did play Anakin Skywalker. That really is me. But see, I never saw reflections of myself back then. You know, I never did the curly things, something she did.
My fucking guy got a conjugal visit with Natalie Portman.
If you watch real close,
hell yeah,
they switched Natalie and Brittany out in one of the scenes at it's the big top room of the hotel where it takes the whole upper floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I didn't realize at the time. Yeah, so I had sex with both of them. But it was like,
oh shit.
Yeah, they didn't care. They didn't care. They were flowing the chorus on it, and you know, to them, like, right. I mean, the galaxy's fallen dark, and I'll tell you how that happened. The squirrels turned out to be really bright little people, like humans.
Squirrels.
Yeah, like C-3PO and RTT2 are real droids, okay? And they figured out that they could understand English and stuff. So we downloaded our technology. They had little starships. And down in the little Zen garden, there's a tree in there. It has a little hollow where there's an old squirrel hyperdrive type of effect.
What?
Yeah, they got like subspace communication and everything. Remember?
You heard it first here. One say you heard it first here. Also, squirrels are really smart, and
especially the old red ones. Like you see the reddish, bigger squirrels. Those are the ones that were
Where do albino squirrels like fit into this mix?
I'm not sure. But I'll tell you what happened while we're not just flying around space all the time is that some of the guys started hunting squirrel, and so they went around and they took out all the hyperdrives of the big ships and made the galaxy go dark.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Okay.
And then the people here, like I had to prove that I am not crazy to another colonel. Because I started like really remembering that Star Wars was real, and I wanted to get to the base. But they hid the real Nashville, Tennessee, where my base is, and so the real Nashville was like kind of hidden. Well, I took one of the colonels down there to the base and showed them, hey, here's Bay. And you ever seen that movie Ice Pirates? It's old.
No, what's
Ice
that?
Pirates. It's an old stoners movie where they ice, like water is like really important, and ice is how they have it stored, and they would steal the water off of, they would like raid ships that had ice.
Oh, this sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. They had these droids, this little droid, or these droids, and Percy was this black droid. They made. Okay, well, I made C-3PO2 to be like Percy, a black armored C-3PO2 who's guarding my ship. Now, I was held captive aboard Star Destroyer, and I used the Force. I'm just a Padawan myself, really, because Eric read through a Force limitation spell on me. But I can occasionally use it, really, in self-defense. Well, I escaped. Now, they hooked the tractor beam on the superconductor coil, which does the hyperdrive. It's like a 20-mile long superconductor wire.
Yeah.
Now, I asked Astromech Joy, I was like, hey, can you reverse the polarity so we can break the grip of it? He said, yeah, but it's gonna spark and burn out, and we'll just have sublight engines. I was like, well, at least we'll escape. We'll try to get a hold of something. So we escaped the tractor beam, and we searched for any kind of high technology world. We picked up some 50s Earth, and I said extrapolate the closest point in its past where this planet might have been to us, and we'll travel in sublight and see if it's there. And so we did, and we came back to where the Earth was a long time ago. And I used the 2 droids to build a little droid. They could build another droid, and then I built a Parthenon there by National. We made a big metal tarp. They still haven't discovered it. There's a huge Parthenon there. That's proof of all this hidden in one of the rooms, which I hid. I know they haven't found it. It would be big news. But it's a huge, giant Parthenon they haven't found. It's been hidden by a metal tarp. And there's a statue to Athena. And the proof that I arrived here a long time ago. Now, all the people from the Earth did not arrive here. There wasn't any humanoids other than the apes here. And natural creatures like dragons and lion griffins and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah, and big birds, like there was a big blue jay that was eating worms popping out of the volcano when we first got here, and I had to fight that one off.
Really?
Really.
Like how big? How big were we talking?
I'm talking like almost moon-sized big.
Almost moon-sized blue jay.
Like, like you see the little blue around the Earth?
Yeah.
Okay, my original footage of coming into the way out in the space the blue went so far, it just kind of freaks me out thinking about how much we limited and that's what kind of made me remember the first time. Like I was watching the news one time, and they had the Earth spinning and the low, and I'm like, gosh, I had these images coming back to me of the Earth having a lot farther out blue, and finally that's when I remember somewhere along the way.
Shit.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Shit.
Now I'll have it. I can prove this. The Star Wars is real. Up in Calgary, like if you were to look on Google Earth, topographical, imagine you're like flying to South America over the United States really fast. So they tried to kill all the hippies off, or all the people like me off one time, because Tyrannosaurus rexes still exist down in South America, and they keep it a big secret. And that's why they built the Panama Canal, because the T-Rexes don't like the water. So the Panama Canal was really made to keep the T-Rexes just come straight on up. So they took us all down there. Yeah, they took us down there. Okay, and so my friend Adam, a different Adam over here, he was feeding these little velociraptors each day. And I was like, man, you don't want to do that. One day you're not going to be able to feed them. They're going to get him and try to kill us. He's like, well, just wait till that happens, okay? So the velociraptors are real smart. See, he dropped us off in this valley where there's a forest on one side and a forest on the other. And we're all just kind of like, most of them just going to sit there and let us die. Like if people want to kill us all, they're just going to accept it. Like me, I was kind of, okay, so one day, the little velociraptors, we'd fed them as much as we could. It's like, dude, I was like, hey, it's not enough. I could just tell. And they actually went, hey, let's get them. And all of a sudden they just started chasing us, and we ran. So we go into the big forest. Some of them were chased by this 12-foot tall, very young T-Rex. And I picked the club and fight. We got way deep in, escaping it. Also, we came upon a scene of these really big 5 trees with a kind of an area in the middle. There was a T-Rex male and female hidden in the vines between 2 big trees, and they were holding off, or the male was holding off 3 males on the outside of it. Okay, so we're watching this from over here on the side, when all of a sudden one of those ships if you were to watch The Empire Strikes Back in the Hoth scene where they took down the AT-ATs, imagine the command version of that had a bigger canopy. Okay, so dude comes down right in the middle and pops the canopy. Didn't see the two T-Rexes behind him. He just pulled his blast and started shooting at the 3 T-Rexes in front of him, making them back away. And he's telling me, well, Sean, my ship told me that you're a Grand Admiral of a fleet of 4 Star Destroyers, one of them being a Super Star Destroyer. He's like, well, I don't want you to serve my command, so I'm just getting ready to kill you. He's telling us this. Well, the T-Rex behind him decided he figured out how to use that laser weapon all of a sudden real quick. He bit the dude in half, grabbed the laser weapon, and he starts backing away with his female T-Rex holding off the 3. So Adam and I saw the 3 go after the 2, and we jumped in the ship. And the ship made me its new commander. And we're rising up. It had this great topography control system that had. So we're just flying over the United States. When you're flying that fast, up by Calgary at a 45-degree angle is this really flat hill. Looks like the only place to land a starship.
Yeah.
So we landed right there. It's still up there. A long time ago, we figured out the water of the earth makes you forget. Like, people would take the ships to fly to the base, and then they would go back to retrieve their ship where they parked at and wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So we finally started having our ships just refuel and go right back to where we had originally parked, knowing that we're going to forget we already flew them in. So I know it's parked up there, and there's no one that can take off in it but me. But it has like an environmental field that keeps it kind of like Shangri-La, and it has like a solar-powered laser that can defend it that is so sensitive it could use as starlight. And that would be proof. If we took somebody up to the big hill in Calgary, there's a starship of the Star Wars make really right there. And that was
so. What is George Lucas's relationship to all this? Is he like a player in it, or is he just kind of like a stool pigeon?
No, well, as a general, I'll tell you, every single show that has a starship in it, all of those ships are real ships. Our society is so old and ancient. We've been through all of those different parts of society to get to where we are now.
Yeah.
The problem is that the last time, okay, back in the 70s, when we arrived, an Armada arrived from, let me see, what was that? Battlestar Galactica. Those ships.
Yeah.
They took all the Earth's
Keep talking. I'm gonna keep talking. I gotta.
All Earth's best minds left with the new Battlestar Galactica, and it's not returned in a long time. So all the remaining people pretty much just haven't even, like, I don't know. It's hard to say what happened to our people.
Yeah.
I don't think there's
Did you ever?
I don't think there's
Did you ever see Atlantis?
There's a Stargate. Okay, the Stargate thing. There's really Stargate in the mountain. I've been through the Stargate. It's considered an expendable. That I got shot in the head when I was a kid. Right here, I got a bullet through my head.
Wow.
Yeah, there's an old World War II bullet. This girl across the street. She was riding my tricycle, and I was supposedly the son of Elvis. And her father hated Elvis. She was going to blow my brains out. Well, it was a 30-year-old bullet that they figured it didn't go through my head for 3 reasons. 1, old powder. 2, telekinesis. Or 3, a combination of really it's a combination. I just learned the word invincible the day before. I think it stopped in that cell. Well, anyway, long story short, I don't even remember where I was going to go. So the Stargate. Okay, the Stargate is currently dialed to an Earth world that's pretty much pristine. But I was the first one to arrive, and I had this little droid box come with me, kind of like, like on the Death Star, you'd see the little one doing information. But it was keeping track of me in case I did something that they didn't like. They would send it back to the gate and then come bring the squad. Okay. Inside the room there was this computer that told me that if I stood on this little disc thing, that it could call my genetic code, and it could unlock my brain to 100% operational and show me how it's doing so as it does so. And I went, really? Okay. So I stood in it, called my code, it started unlocking my brain up to about 72%, when all of a sudden I got tackled out of it by a squad coming through evidently the thing had gone right back through the moment I stood in it and started calling up that shit. They saw that going on from this side, so the squad tackled me out of it. Okay, now, I don't know if y'all believe chaos theory. Chaos theory suggests that
Definitely.
the die roll will unfold. The universe will unfold to the die roll.
Yeah.
Okay, now to blow the dungeon apart, like Eric and I are writers. I'm really Ari Salvatore for Forgotten Realms, and Damon and Stefan Salvatore are my half brothers. And all three of us, including Elena, came up with the Vampire Diaries.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You're,
And
Oh,
Damon
shit.
And Demon really tried to kill me a lot all the time over
you fucking you fucking know many vampires now?
Well, I'll tell you how that one's possible. There's a real arcane spell book there that's spelled up to go back to its pedestal. And there's a 6th level spell called Polymorph Self. And so you can polymorph yourself into anything, including a vampire or a werewolf. And so that's how that really happened.
1 second.
Well, Steve, this is fascinating, man. This is a good talk. I'm glad.
Sean.
Oh, Sean, my bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm
lots of $6 million man.
But yeah, Sean, this is fascinating. I'm so glad you came on the pod, man. I appreciate it so much.
Let me tell you the one thing I got interrupted on earlier. Guess what?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was last in. Okay, I'll tell you. Molly Crew. I was the drummer for Shout Out the Devils. She's got the look at kill. That's me with the black hair.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
So do you know Tommy Lee?
Well, I know all those guys like barely at all.
Uh-huh.
I was just helping them with the lyrics. They were a local band in LA at the time.
Yeah.
They just needed help with the lyrics. So, like, if you hear the drum roll at the end of one of them, well, the only reason I was even drumming for him is the main drummer. He got this hot babe of a girlfriend, and he didn't want to drum that day. And RCA only rents the equipment out for one day. It was like a $10,000 package, and if you don't use their equipment the day they offer it, they could sue. The rest of the band didn't want to be sued. I stood in for it. By the end of the day, I had it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Hell yeah.
I didn't even remember that. And they knew we weren't going to get back together, but they made me the official last drummer. And when they were in town recently, they didn't talk to me in person, but they ran ahead of me. I was like walking by the campus, and one of them said my bass drum head cover right in front of me by the trash, and ran off. I was like, hey, I kind of recognized them from a distance, but I wasn't sure. So I grabbed it. I got it in my storage unit, the drum head.
What?
Yeah.
What? So fucking tell us, since magic is real, what's your favorite type of magic to do?
Well, we're here in the plane of pandemonium, which is identical to the prime material plane, except that there's 1,000 subplanes, and you can't do any visible spell unless you pile it up over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a book in Europe that describes it takes 3 repetitions a day for 60 days to possibly get a first level spell like light or magic missile to work. And it for sure works by like the 87th day. So for each level of spell, there's like 9 levels of spells. For example, spells, the second level spell would be like levitate. Third level spell would be like fireball, lightning bolt, or fly. Or another second level spell would be invisibility, but if you attack while invisible, you become invisible. Now,
Okay.
at fourth level, you got improved invisibility, where you can attack. You can fly and attack while invisible, so you're like godlike at that point. And you have
Hell yeah.
invisibility. Right, so once you're spelled up to that level, you're pretty much suddenly meeting other spelled up magic users up in there. You're like, whoa, I didn't know these guys were around before. And then they haven't let me to an arcane spellbook for a really long time.
Yeah.
Because I took 100 heads that last time and got a bunch of quickies.
So have you ever thought about like running for a public office or something? You know.
I was once an ambassador.
To where?
Or to I was just go across the world and delegate, try to have peace talks and stuff like that. That was a long time ago.
Right on.
Yeah, they've made me step in as president for a while without me even knowing, and didn't even give me any money about it. And then they had to impeach me over my wife cheated on me because she didn't know her station life either.
Fucking bitch.
They never. I hadn't even remembered
Wow.
that I bought this Bronze Circle Castle. Because that was back when I was like 19 or so, and I'd come over to America
Uh-huh.
because the Pope had wanted to see or know anything about dragons. And so I'd send him footage from my satellite. And he made a special 747 that had filtered windows that showed only the spectrum that things were. And we flew north of the castle. See, the reason we came up here is there's real dragons that are alive, flying up above us, 20 miles up. And there's an elevator in the city hall. You have to have a key for it. It goes 20 miles up. And, okay, so this lady, this fat lady, they gave me a key.
Mm-hmm.
This chick seen me as a homeless dude, and she grabbed my key. She went up. She was wearing a live cam. So me and this other secretary were watching her cam. She goes up. This fat lady looks over to the left. There's a real dragon sitting there, and the dragon eats her. Flies away. I'm like, oh, wow. So she's like, well, listen. She's like, I got one more key. You can go up there. She's like, but I can't let you come back down via the elevator. You're going to have to walk 10 miles south and there's a stairway down. She said. Okay, so I go up there. There was no dragons around. But the illusions were gone. Like, you can't see the castle that we're in from right here. But, like, when you're 20 miles up, you can see everything from then on. Because the dragons unify their sorceries together to create the illusions to hide it.
Yeah.
And they just come down and eat people every now and then.
Let me ask a question about dragons. They often get like portrayed in like video games as like having like elemental powers, like fire or ice, like, you know, like stuff like that. Do they have the same?
Some people can turn into dragons at will, back and forth. I myself, if I see a human turn into a dragon in front of me, can turn into a dragon at the same time.
Holy shit!
Eric the Red did so.
That's
like,
so cool.
We dungeon rolled that, okay? Okay, now I wanted to just blow the dungeon to see blow chaos theory quite recently. Now, I remembered the machine across the gate told me my brain had been opened to 72%. So I estimated it on my own that I probably hadn't opened it up very much because I hadn't even thought about it or tried to except through meditation. And I could tell I just really hadn't opened up, but maybe more, like maybe just 1% more. So I asked the die, the percentiles, what percentage is my brain opened up to right now? Okay, I rolled a 73.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I rolled a 73, which means that the die confirmed that I had opened up my mind just one more percentile myself since then. And that kind of blew my mind away that it would actually really be like that real of a roll. So I think the dungeon's really happening. Like, there's a 5-big series.
Impressive.
There's a 5-big series that hasn't been released yet that will catch everybody up current on the dungeon.
Really?
Really.
Well, when's it going to be released?
I don't know. Eric's my editor. See, he played the antagonist and I played the protagonist. The whole dungeon.
Yeah, that's actually like a really good question. Do you have like an online presence, like an Instagram or like a YouTube channel that you operate from?
No, I can't be on Facebook or anything like that, or my professor from Cambridge won't let everybody know my real statistics and everything I've accomplished in life.
Okay. Okay.
Off of that, until he publicly, you all would have to request that from him on Facebook for the rollover to happen, and then he would verify all that.
Okay.
My professor, he's a Spanish guy. His nickname is Dario Speedwagon, but he is here in town every now and then. And he flubbied a long time ago and forgot he's a professor, so that's why they made crystal meth a felony. Because when a man converts that 10 days of fat into a new girth, it makes him forget who in the hell he is. And he has 8 PhDs worth of knowledge in his brain, so when he forgot all 8 PhDs, that was considered to be felonious loss of knowledge.
What?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Whoa.
There's very little that component left. None of it even has anything but maybe a millimeter gain. Now you can temporarily gain, but we would have to go over to the new world. Like if we had a current satellite. Let's see if we had a satellite that we could take to the gate that can see through the strata of the Earth. We could locate the necessary components to make a whole new floody system. You would have to raid the gate to get through it. Now they haven't. I mean, I haven't traveled through Stargate since. I see that Stargate universe. The only reason that's not pretty much basically the real truth is because they're leaving me out of it. They actually. I was working with this kid on a video game. I was the only one to solve it. at the end. So I had this general come to the door and ask me to come help them solve something. And I said no. Well, suddenly they're beaming me up to the station up top, like I had no choice. They took me a whole other world and kept me captive. And I had to figure out some 9 chevron address. Yeah, I figured out it was a moving ship or something that the gate was on. And then they had to tap into the world's core to get the energy to open up the gate that far. And there was a whole alien races attacking at the same time, which caused the planet to become stable. And all of us barely got through before that planet exploded. And we were trapped on board the Destiny, which was a 1,000,000-year-old ship. And the scrubbers were so old, it would go through, it was programmed to stop, see a machine ship went ahead that had gates on it, and would put a gate down on any world that was even remotely Earth-like or that had resources on it. So we could stop. And so then it was following the path of that to go, and if you, it was going through sublight through the system, and you only had a certain window time to get from that gate to the gate before it would faster than light travel. Now it's the coolest faster than light travel that's ever been discovered. That's the purple flames.
Yeah.
That shit's really real.
Let me ask you, you ever fuck any alien bitches or?
Rishafra, that's what they call it.
Rishafta.
No, Rishafra.
Rishafra.
Which is on.
Rashafra?
Yeah, it's on Ringworld or Ringworld Engineers. It's a Larry Niven, Jerry Cornell book. Where, yeah.
Does she have like 3 tits?
Well, yeah. Sure, there's really werewolves and vampires around. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, would they even be like described as tits? Or are they more of just like a completely different like kind of entity of itself?
You ever seen Total Recall?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched that. Yeah.
Okay, well, see, RCA, respective, compliant, appreciative. So, let's just say that I looked a lot like Conan, or I looked a lot like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was me to play Conan the Destroyer. So if you watch closely, the sex scene, it was me fucking the chick in that one. And then they hired Arnold to replace me.
Oh, so, yeah.
And I really actually killed Arnold in real combat 3 times in a row, and he came back to life within 10 minutes each time. And finally convinced him that he would just rather have me on his side, really, in a skirmish. And it took a while to convince him of that. But
Is he immortal too, or just like?
yes, he is. Now, the only reason we're apparently aging is because Eric the Red made an aging spell, which will eventually reverse. So, and then he'll create us to our aging.
Okay, so I've got a question for you. Like, how did you come into contact with Eric the Red? Was that something that you met?
A long time ago. He was looking for an apprentice, so all the smartest kids and people came to. We all stand in line, and he chose me because I was the smartest.
Oh yeah.
And
He sounds like is he like an entity or like what's
he's
his
just
what's
a
the
regular guy. He's actually pretty short, but he's one of the fastest sword fighters there is. He's
okay.
Now I don't like to brag about other dudes being powerful, but he is one of the most powerful males in the entire universe. Because he was the first one who figured out his sphere of power a long time ago, which is like a 15-foot radius where we have influence control. I still haven't even figured out my sphere of power yet. Otherwise, I can control the temperature during the winter and to be tolerable within my sphere, at least. I still haven't figured that one out yet. So, I'm a fledgling demigod. Now, how that happens, like gods and demigods have a super molecule orbiting our necks. And I got that through a wish spell by doing a ritual. He made it very difficult to complete a wish spell here in the plane of Pandemonium, which required 99.9% silver ankh, really engraved, and doing using a purple relic knife. And one night I completed the ritual and got a super molecule orbiting my neck and became a demigod. And now that is scannable. If you were to make a molecular scanner, you would see that orbiting around my neck. Sure.
Dude, that is like
And what happens? Like
staggeringly impressive. Like
there's a weapon called a vorpal, which normally like
Vorpal? Like with like a V?
Yeah, vorpal.
Okay.
Yeah, VORPAL, vorpal.
Okay.
Now normally a launch would be 1d8 plus your strength damage, and or any magical damage also. Now, Vorpal, you have to roll like a high roll, like a 19 or 20 on the 20 side, and then you have to roll a percentage, like a 99 or 100, or like the lower level demigods, maybe like 70 something up. Like Eric only had to roll like 72 or 3 to get me, and he rolled like 1% less in the gaming. Now, and what happened in reality is like I had a gold necklace on, and it went almost all the way through, but I have a power in my quickening that lets me turn back time in the main time stream. Like, so we're on the side stream of the main time stream. What happens, like, when a god or a demigod is hit by a Vorpal relic, that super molecule stops the blade from going all the way through, and an incarnation is made, where you're suddenly just shooting out the side of your body with a whole other body, and you live one of two tangents, the fast tangent, which is 22 years, or a slow tangent, which is 22 years for every second within 22 years, which is 693,792,000 years. So say a god stops time, which is a 9th level spell. Say you memorize off 50 spells off of the 9th level spell book. You can stop time and then do something, like you create a whole city. To everybody else, look, they just came over the hill, and then 1 second later, oh yeah, there's a city over there. When really the god spent 693,792,000 years building it.
Jesus.
Yeah, but they were stopped. They didn't have to eat or drink the entire time.
Never?
Never. The whole time. Because that's how it happens.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's how a god or demigod does these fantastic events. Now, right now, we're on Eric the Red. Eric, like Britney Spears, dressed gothic in a few of her videos. And he was just trying to find...
Wait, so Eric the Red is responsible for that?
No, I'm responsible for the gothic.
Oh.
No, he attacked me about that. That's the whole reason. He's like saying this thing needs to be only in fine dresses.
Dude, I have to give you some shout out and thanks, because like Britney Spears gothic era, like, not trying to be disrespectful because I know that's your wife, but that was like primo jerk off material for me when I was like
let's just
like
say
I was like 15. I was just like
Papa for not pulling out.
Yeah.
I've got a couple children with Britney.
Oh, what? My man's been busting up in Britney Spears.
Yeah, like,
kudos, my man.
My prerogative, I think, was when she was curly hair. They have him knocked out. They have him knocked out unconscious for a whole motherfucking year while she was having the kid.
Well, let me ask you another question. So, like, what are the big key differences between Eric the Red and Eric the Green? Because I know you've mentioned, like, is it like
Eric the Red. Okay, so Eric the Red's main is like a 20th level fighter, 20th level illusionist, 20th level arcane magic user, 20th level sorcerer, 20th level cleric. It's like 20th level in all these different classes. And my main, I have like he has like 2,000 hit points by adding up each class. It's like 150 or so per, and then like I only have 1,500 in mine, but I was only like a 15th level fighter. So in a real sword fight, a few seconds later, he would get his sword hit above me. So I had to trick him. I had to feint at his groin, and then trick him to, like, I had a belt pouch made of chainmail that had 3 different layers on. So I was just praying to God that would be enough to stop the sword from chopping my own thing off.
Yeah.
Right. Because I could tell he was getting ready. Like, he attacked me for what happened, okay? Is that he handed me a joint, a king size joint. We were going a 6-hour long read. We used the magic to make sure the THC was coming out. We were making the best weed there is, okay?
Yeah.
And so he's handing me a joint of, but that was just an illusion. Really, he was coming at me with a Vorpal saber to kill me. My super molecule caused me to live a 22-year tangent. And then as soon as that 22 years was done, I was able to leap off. One of my powers of my quickening was to turn back time for a second in the main time stream. And in reverse time, I could see through the illusion as the sword was going backwards at the time, it undid all the damage. And I saw the reverse time was slowing down, was getting ready to go forward again. I better jump out of the way. So when it happened again, I barely leaped out of the way. I went, no way, he just tried to kill me. So I attacked him with all my might. And I realized that he was about ready to get a move ahead of me, no matter how fast I am. I'm lightning fast, but he was even faster. And I was like, wow, he's got to be the only other guy faster than me that I know of. And so I knew I had to trick him. And I know I was maybe one more point until I was tired. And so I feinted at his groin. And sure enough, he full-fledged lunged in mine. So that's when whipped around, hit him in the neck area. But he had a pre-cast sorcery of a temporal stasis combined with a time stop. And so suddenly, we're stopped in time, and like there's this visible, like, it's like completely solid rainbow colors come out of the side of his neck. I was like, wow, this dude's blood made of like rainbow. I was like, what is my old master? What kind of creature is he to have fucking blood that's like rainbow fucking splayed out like that? And I didn't know, okay? But all of a sudden, I'm like seeing all these little silhouettes of Eric. He was casting, he had a lot of spells memorized. He was casting major incarnation after major incarnation. What was happening is that they would be like light beam as they went through his time stop, and then they would solidify on the outside of the time stop. They would look and see what's going on, they would go out of the room. Well, suddenly, he completely doubled himself, where his main self is frozen time, I'm frozen time, but his other self was like, got see-through visible colors going off, and he's getting ready to behead me. I'm thinking, well, if I don't do exactly what he just did, I'm getting ready to die, even though I'm winning. And I'm like, well, what did he do? And my brain saw the molecules in front of my eyes, and so I was like, oh, well, it looks like how he somehow stopped time. Like, well, he chose me because I'm the smartest, and I'm a little bit taller than him, so he can stop time. That means I can too, even better. So like, well, let's stop time, brain. My brain suddenly figured out how to stop time through a sorcery. And suddenly I'm leaping out of the left side of my body, completely doubling myself also, which is another power of my quickening I didn't know I had, is to double myself during combat. And so suddenly my magic items and everything completely doubled, and I'm fighting up Eric, and I managed to grab his blade out of his hand, rip it out of his hand by catching a burr in the sword and ripping it out of his grip. And he tried to leap back into his own self, which he would have been able to do had my time stop not suddenly stopped him from doing so. So he couldn't get all the way back in. So I just was looking at all this shit, just amazed at what's going on. He and I never fought like that. And then he left the room. So I decided, well, maybe I can wade towards him and complete the head cut from the other side. So I tried to wade through the time stop and complete the cut. I couldn't get to him at all. Then I decided, well, I'll try to combine back into myself. Maybe that'll help me complete the head cut. So I tried to come back into my own self. I couldn't go through his time stop to reach myself. And then my quickening doubled me again. And then I doubled again. And then I decided to just leave it all alone. So I left the battle frozen in time. Now in the dungeon, he had made a sorcery to make that the last time stop to ever resolve. So no matter how many time stops there are to resolve, it'll be the last one to resolve. In the next room was a real arcane spellbook.
Yeah.
And the book lifted me up off the ground, and it floated me up to, it opened up its own accord, and it hovered me there. And it told me exactly how many spells my mind can memorize. And so I memorized like 50-some spells. And then so I'm off the book, standing there. I wanted to know if the One Ring was something that's really real. So yeah, it's something that's really real. And I had to spell vanish, which could vanish and I didn't know. I actually banished the One Ring to myself there, and I was like, wow, so suddenly I'm seeing through myself partially. Like, yeah. So my main up there was wearing it. Okay, now.
So you basically like equaled like your master, or like almost conquered him in a way. Is that?
Well, we're still in the middle of that battle. Really, it still hasn't resolved. We're on the side.
This is epic as fuck.
Right, like if you see the scan of. You can see the whole tangent as a little blurb of everything going sideways on one of the wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum. Yeah, I've seen it. Okay, so a long time ago, there was this big guy that came to me. He's like 11 feet tall, one of the biggest guys I've ever seen. He said he found the source of life, the original amino acid pool, and he wanted me to distill a potion for him out of it. So he took me to the inside of this mountain cave system where there was this frozen amino acids that were like in different colors, and he's like, here, go ahead and try a string of it, because when you have a string of aminos, it makes an enzyme. So I was just eating a bite of cold ice, and I was about ready to eat 2 of the blues, and he stopped me from eating the second one of the blues. And that's the one that made me big. He's like, I'm not gonna let you do that one right now, so you'll have to do that on your own time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go back to my lab. I was a kid at the time. And a big fancy dancy thing that Eric had made, and because he's way more better chemist than I am.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so he came to get the potion, and the potion just appeared out of my hands a long time ago. So I had to make a second potion. Well, I'd always wanted to know what had happened to that potion.
Yeah.
So I scried. What happened to the potion? Turns out that in a few seconds, after I'm done scrying, I'm going to vanish into my own hands. So I vanished that potion that had disappeared out of my hands a long time ago to my hands, spelled up. I drank it. Soon I grew 17 feet tall.
17 feet tall. How big was your dick? Like, fucking.
About like that. I mean, it was the same proportion at the time.
Same proportion?
Same proportion, but
Yeah.
okay, now as I'm growing tall.
Yeah, did you ever get to smash anybody at 17 feet tall?
I'm still
bitches.
frozen in time there.
Yeah?
Still frozen in time there at age 17.
Oh, shit.
If you can find the right tower, they're sky blue, pink, like it's a whole series of towers, the books, in case we're invaded like by alien races or something. Eric made a whole series of towers that were effectively invisible out of the flight range, so we could just send people up on the books to be spelled up, and then help defend us.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's impressive, though, man.
That's why I told you.
That's a fight of the
I told you.
year.
I told you that you wouldn't even believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, fuck, man.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
hit it nail on the head right there.
Right. Okay, right. So I'm still up there at age 17,
Yeah.
and I'm not on my third incarnation. I've died a couple times by other immortals, and I had to try how to change things different. Like one immortal turned me to a praying mantis, stopped on me and ripped my head off.
So tell me, like, you know,
That was fun.
how many times have you died now?
Just twice.
Just twice?
I mean, I've died 1,000 times. I lose my head.
Oh, okay.
And now my quickening doubled me before I ever died. There's one of me at the Rift Sanctuary, which is like place on the Jedi Academy place. It's a really real place.
Mm-hmm.
That is hovering above the bottom of the chasm. And that hasn't died. So there is unscathed me that my quickening triggered before I've actually died. I have a couple more incarnations left.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's interesting that when I cast Major Incarnation, I wasn't doubled at 17 feet. I was actually incarnated as a regular sized person. So even though I'd grown to 17 feet tall, when I cast the spell, I was still just normal sized human. Now, as a geneticist, I'm a genetic engineer also. I figured out that, yeah, giants really did exist. There is one enzyme that can cause us to be that big. I figured out the human max for male would be 17 to 19 feet, and the human max for female would be 15 to 17 feet.
So let me ask you, like, when you die, like, how do you remember, like, when you come back? Like, you come back as a baby, or you come back as, like, your...
Well, there's normally I just come back, like, well, what happened?
Oh, shit.
Like I've died 1,000 times like that. Like yeah, all the time. Like, yeah, like what happened? Like, I don't remember going to sleep. Like, I've been shot a few times in the head recently.
Recently? Like, when's the last time you remember being shot in the head?
I don't remember exactly how long ago. A few days ago, maybe a guy stabbed me in the back of the head.
Guy stabbed you in the back of the head?
A scab. I felt a fresh scab.
Oh, so like...
I didn't even know I'd taken the bullet. Now I've gotten shot here in the wrist. There.
What?
Yeah, that's a bullet hole.
Damn.
For rolling. Somebody decided they didn't like that. So they shot me.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, good thing you're safe, my man, and all good and healthy.
I'm not necessarily safe. I'm just an immortal.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? Sometimes
fair.
Sometimes I bounce them.
Yeah. Bounce bullets?
Yeah, sometimes. But they've made like.
Man, if I had a gun, we could test it out.
No. It's only like, I think it only happens if I'm justified. You know, like somehow like the honor of justification is like a shield from God or something like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
so,
something like that. It looks something like that, like a Templar.
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Or something like that. Well, see, Kryptonian things are really something that really happened. See, Krypton was a system that we all were in, pretty much the entire human race. Krypton was really, it's in two different dimensions. Like you see the original movies had like all the crystals and stuff, and you see Man of Steel, it's got more Earth-like. Both dimensions of it exist.
What?
But there was 3 different levels of Kryptonian powers. Like I was in the scout ship with like 7 females, and we were just in the system for a few seconds. But at the time, the reason these powers happened was because the supergiants that were in the planetary system, they were moving really fast, and the gravitational effects made a grouping of cells be really dense inside of our bodies and places and create like me and this Russian kid figured out that a Kryptonian power is really real, that it had to be a molecular structure, very small, and just you could probably just take out a drop of blood.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he got me to levitate at gunpoint to save the chick selflessly, and that changed the. He had this piece of meteorite that was green, see-through, and he carved into like a hollow thing. He hit me in the shoulder with this piece of meteorite from Krypton that had blown here, and it shot some of my blood into it, and then he put it on some wax paper for 20 years, and then he came over across planet, and he said, well, let's smoke some heroin on top of this kind bed.
I did not expect it to go to that part.
Well, heroin is really the blood of the most powerful sorcerer.
Heroin, that's what heroin is?
Heroin is really the blood of the most powerful sorcerer.
Fuck.
But that was just, I told him, that's made me kind of heebie-jeebies. But I like dabs. Like, I told him to come back in 6 months and say he had some dabs to throw on. So he came back 6 months later, and we smoked
I've
some
never
dabs.
been more eager to try heroin now that I know this. Like,
Some of the dabs oil.
like that sounds so.
It's so much better, right?
Well,
Yeah.
there's some of the old werewolf blood inside some of the dab. Like, you get one of those old cartridges and you pull on the vape pen.
Yeah, that's werewolf blood?
Some of it is, yeah.
What? God, people walking around here vaping werewolf blood and shit. What's up with that?
Get this, I bought this old, like in Camdenton, Missouri, the Bagnell Dam. And they had this old store right near the dam. They had this silver bladed bayonet. And I bought it for like $45, $55. I put it right beside my seat, and the cops confiscated. They confiscated from me for having it right there. I'm like, whoa, dude, that's like in my car and shit. Okay, well, as a scientist, they brought me in to work with this other scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath the microscope, very high power one, in the grooves was just enough particles of werewolf blood to make a drop. The scientist right next to me immediately injected himself with it, and he immediately turned into a werewolf right away and bit me right away. Well, I've been bit by the main one. Yeah, that's something you wouldn't believe either.
Well, fucking...
Now, there's jail footage to prove this one.
Tell me, how can I find werewolves?
Well, I'm a werewolf myself, but Eric the Red time teleports me past the full moon, so I don't change.
Oh, okay, I was about to say...
Now, my wife Kimberly witnessed this once. We were at her storage unit. And she said I disappeared for a whole 24 hours off the entire planet, and that when I came back to, I was changing back from werewolf, and I was still in the middle of the same sentence I'd been speaking the day before. And I went, really? Like, I had Eric created illusions, so I couldn't tell. Now, one time he let me turn to a werewolf in jail. He wanted me to kill somebody for him as a werewolf. In jail.
So when you turn into a werewolf, like, how much bigger do you get?
I get about 7 feet tall.
What?
We're about 6 foot 8.
Does it hurt? Like,
it does hurt. The first time I changed, it was very slow. It was very painful. Like, if you watched American Werewolf in London,
yeah, that's what I was asking.
That was really me changing live, actually.
Oh shit, that was you.
They shot me to death 6 times and brought me back here in the casket.
Man,
I still got the silver bullets in me. If you would have an X-ray scanner, you could see the silver bullets in me.
You fucking get killed a lot, man.
Yeah, I got 120 bullets in me. I even have an Old West bullet in my thigh.
120 that's pretty high.
Wait, hold on. Can I ask the story of how the Old West bullet?
I was age 10 for 50,000 years, and the reason I started aging was, I took a 50 caliber Civil War bullet. We found there was gold plates underneath this bank, and I was galloping with it, and they shot me through the trees, and I started getting fever. And the lady I was living with had some stew, and that night I grew to outgrow the fever for the first time since like a long time ago when I created a spell I had made a spell to where I had a lightsaber, and I was hovering, I was flying and I hunted a deer. I made a silver plate. I made a pewter cup, and the spell would work. I had to grow my own onions and carrots and eat the dish. I had to do everything. And that once I completed the meal, it would turn the plate made of silver into chocolate to eat as a dessert. And then that would create a whole thing of created milk inside the pewter cup that would remain as a byproduct to complete the spell. So for 50,000 years, I didn't eat anything at all the way until that. I could eat if I wanted, but I didn't have to. I didn't even realize. It's like when I went a long period of time without eating or drinking, Eric was just creating illusions that it was just like a regular time span to me. I didn't realize how long I was actually living.
Damn.
Right, so I actually started aging during the Civil War. And the 50 caliber is still in my arm somewhere.
50 caliber?
It's in my arm somewhere. And I even got shot by a firing squad for building a nuclear weapon.
When was that?
About 1988 or 89. Yeah, these dudes. I had a house at 9th in Pennsylvania, right across that little bar there, and I had Galga. I was like 845,000. I was just captured my second ship, and all these machine gunners broke in with their own homemade machine guns. See, I got an A in calculus and algebra stuff, and he knows really good at math. They wanted me to do the math. So they took me to this underground room, this underground downtown Lawrence, about 300 feet down, and then they robbed the depot of that had all the uranium metal. Now this is the original A-bomb. The original A-bomb was just this little two tiny spheres where U1 exploded into U2, and the two exploded to each other. Now regular C4 might trigger the explosion, but C4 plus was invented to ensure the explosion that burned 1,200 degrees hotter. So what they did is they wanted to build a world-destroying version of it. So I did the mathematics. It's a 29 cubic foot worth of uranium, 10-foot sphere. There's 1-inch shell. Then it's kind of weird how the mathematics work out. The U2 is a 10-foot sphere with a 2-inch shell. That's 53 cubic feet of uranium. Nice round Herbie number. Now it's a bigger object than it's ever been tried. It'll chunk the world apart.
Let me.
They call it NOVA, nuclear overture atomic.
Okay.
So I came back to life on the gurney after bringing me in. I was
let me ask you a couple more questions because I got a couple of things for you.
Okay.
So you've got your castle. You're part of King. You've obviously talked about seeing some.
My wife thought I'd gone crazy.
One second. Let him ask.
Well, I just one of the big things that there is today, as far as a topic, is pedophilia and the royalty, the elite, that kind of thing. Did you ever see anything like that? I mean,
Oh, I had sex with some of the royalty in London.
Yeah.
One of the women over there.
But you've never seen
I met Princess Diana in Wichita. She actually came to find me. And that's why Charles and her had a falling out.
Oh, so you're the reason why they had a falling out.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually really the king of England, actually.
But to answer his question, you never because I mean, listen.
I'm guilty about myself. My charge that I went to prison for was I was supposedly jacking off in my Trans Am. Okay, but really I had a Sobe, I had a Pina Colada Sobe, and I had this $170 silver hilted dagger that had a white handle that had no scabbard. It had no scabbard going to the belt, so I had it stashed in this. So the Sobe combined with the white handle of the dagger looked like I was jacking off from 50 feet away. I pled innocent. They gave me lewd and lascivious behavior.
I mean, what better car to jack off in than a Trans Am, right?
It had a 350.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Tuned for
I'd be jacking off at stoplights.
Well, I actually didn't really do that. I actually had sex with this hot babe from the campus at the bird sanctuary. And her and I were so high, we forgot that we had just done it. And then we're getting high again. And I asked her if she wanted to go do it again. And she's like, no, that's the second time around. It was months later before I even remembered that her and I had actually really done it.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. But, I've been accused of the same. I don't know, chicks hit on me. Well, I try to ignore it.
Oh, what do you mean? Fucking you have kids come on to you?
Just, I don't even want to talk about it, man. You want to give me shots up today. Let's just say it.
Well, it went
I don't like boys. I'm not a faggot.
Yeah. Oh, whoa, my man's dropping hard out on this motherfucker.
Well, if you've ever seen the Uncut Animals.
Hell yeah.
maybe I did go find Jessica Miller, and I paid her actually. Okay, get this. This is what really happened. I'm guilty of actually fucking her, but only because her mom pimped her out to me. Because I was driving. What really happened was I wasn't jacking off. Okay, I was riding along. They had a steak special at McDonald's. It was really a Sunday, and they said they changed the day. Everything. Well, anyway, I caught Jessica Miller fucking this black kid dreadlocks between two cars.
Shit, this is broad
Right,
daylight?
this is in the morning.
In a McDonald's parking lot? Holy
no,
shit.
I was driving around. No, I was driving around by.
Okay.
I was driving around like 5th Street and over there, right by the hospital area.
Yeah.
I was just eating.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to go to the campus and park and maybe smoke a bowl up there. And her mom came to the window and said, "Hey, we're having shortage of I'll pimp her out to you for $300." Well, okay, so I drove out with $1 all the way up to this park downtown, pushed her, gave her another $300 for herself, and she actually stole the fucking $600 wallet out of my wallet.
She stole your wallet?
No, she stole. I had like $1,200 with me in one wallet, and I had
That's
3
shitty.
Well, see, my ex-wife's father had died and left us about $15 grand, and her and I'd split apart, splitting the money. And I had a bunch of cash in me. What I was doing was spending 20s and I was saving the 10s, 5s, and 1s in a wallet. And she had gone down with. No, I told her if anybody asked about what happened to me, she'd see me jacking. It was my own story to tell.
Yeah.
That she told others that got me in trouble and went to prison.
Yeah.
But there's a guy that has a lazy eye, plays guitar, that has a video cam going out his window now. He's never isolated it. He told me that he could get me off of that charge someday if he could locate the footage and prove that I wasn't jacking off on that particular pass-by. So there is a man that has a cam going out of his window that will release me of that charge someday once he can locate the footage of it. Because in that film, I really was just putting this cat back on the Selby.
Yeah.
Like, and even in the court, she was doing this cap twisting motion. So they just wanted to fuck me up and have something over my head. Now, I'm almost off the list, actually. I've been on the list for 15 years. It's a long time. My wife and I had problems. I can't have a place to live. Otherwise, I'd probably be living over here at 24th Street.
Yeah.
Because I get subsidized. I've had a broken back.
Yeah.
So, like even though I carry my pack around, I still can carry 80 pounds, up to 80 pounds. I just can't. Jesus,
So,
pounds continual lifting.
I've got another couple of questions. Well,
All right.
It's more of I have this I think I've talked to Daniel about it, but it's a list of different conspiracy theories that has been ranked on the internet, and I want to read some of them to you and basically get your take on it. Whether or not you think that's real, your kind of.
As a general, I might know the truth about it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Get to the bottom of this shit.
All right.
I might not know, but sure I might.
That's fair. That's fair.
I haven't been back to base for about 27 years. I've been out here the whole time.
Yeah.
They just wanted me to get to know what's going on. Nobody else would volunteer. And the colonel volunteered me at gunpoint. He made me go out the window of my new office naked. And then he said, "Hey, we got right." Yeah, all the people they hadn't met me yet. So yeah, we got this naked man streaking on the base of the
That's crazy. Wow. Just a man there walking.
I have a 2-foot thick file that explains how I got my rank and everything.
2 foot thick, 48.
Now let me explain how I got it real quick. I was in the mountains hitchhiking, and there was this bar getting ready to open for the night, or it just opened, and there was only one other guy, and dude came over and asked me. I was getting a rum and coke. He's like, "What are you here doing?" I was like, "Well, I'm gonna just try to find some chick and maybe go home and have sex." He's like, "Well, all the women here are accounted for. You can forget that and move on." And I said, "Well, I don't think so." He said, "Oh, I think so." He threw a punch at me, and the way I defended myself made him trip backwards and hit a bar, so he went out of the plate glass window. I got arrested.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I got arrested. They said it's a 6-month charge. And I was like, "Well, cool. I'll just sit around." And it's like, "No, we can make you serve it aboard an aircraft carrier." I'm like, "No way. You can make me serve my sins aboard a military vessel?" He said, "Yeah, we can." I was like, "Well, they don't do that in Kansas." He's like, "Well, they could. They can make us. Yeah, they can make us serve any charge and do hard labor and shit."
Damn.
So for 6 months, I learned how to fly old 70s intruder planes.
While incarcerated.
Yeah, well, I was free aboard the ship. Yeah, I got to fly planes, and I got to carry a Bowie knife.
God damn, I want to go to that fucking
They wouldn't let me carry a gun.
Shit.
Right,
For
well,
real.
it was half military, half Marine. It was like most of the crew was on vacation for a while. And so we had half Navy, half Marine. I had a black Marine guard. And we were flying. We would do bombing exercises, and he would do the math. I had to still pull the trigger. So for 2 weeks, they gave me every test that they had. And I scored higher on every test than everybody else in all 4 branches, including bombing, which most people lose their rank jump on the bombing because the guys that aren't smart in the books try to do the bombing thing to jump the rank. And then I even went to the Air Force Academy up there. And,
Okay.
So he's going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go into a couple of these. And like the way these are, they're ranked and like to different tiers. We're in the tier 2 right now, which they call the deep researcher tier. And they mentioned something in here about weather control. What do you know about weather control?
That sounds kind of like magic to me.
Well, there's 1,000 subplanes of Pandemonium. I can't remember what the name of the movie is. In one of the movies, there's this outpost or something like that where it's all frozen solid all the time. And then in like Cannibal, I don't remember the name of that movie.
Oh, it's like I think it has it's like a 80s movie where like they're all like on that like frozen outpost and there's like something going around the base that's like killing everybody. I think.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name.
Well, there's like in one dimension there are those things that happen where you try to control the weather like that and it went awry, and then it destroyed society and people like me. Finally, we found one section of the weather that was tolerable, and we brought back society from where.
Okay.
Actually, society has fallen several times, and each time like one time up at the hill.
Yeah.
Everybody had forgotten about anything. They figured out the gun thing from those plaques on the door at the Campanile.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So next question.
So we're gonna do another one. I like that was interesting.
There's a 6th level spell where you can weather control too. Sometimes Eric is paid off to control the weather.
Oh shit.
And plus they have weather missiles.
Well, that answers it.
Right. They have these little weather missiles too. That there's a component that's almost gone. They dug out everything known, but occasionally people shoot off the missile to make it rain just for hardship.
All right.
Well, this one I picked specifically because we spoke about like time travel and that kind of thing earlier. This is in the tier 4 Adept of Secrets tier. And what do you know about Lord Pakal's time machine?
Lord Pakal. I know that all the different time machines that are in a movie, like in Time After Time, where they have the one with the key, where Jack the Ripper comes through time.
Oh shit, that sounds like
that one's really a real one.
Whoa.
There's another movie where there's just this stationary like sled. That's a very simple sled that where the guy gets on it, goes through hundreds of thousands of years, where alien culture. That one's a real one. There is a 9th level spell called Time Teleport, where you can time travel through that. It's in a few books. So there are magic users that do jump time like that. And there is one quickening that is the most sought after quickening, the actual Time Teleport quickening itself, where whoever has it jumps through whatever time they want to, it will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me use the restroom real quick, and then we'll hop back into it. I drank some coffee. It's just like going right through me.
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries.
So, in fact, we could be back in time pretty far. Who knows? It could just be illusions.
Yeah.
We could be back so far that anything outside the castle we're in is probably just still desolate, barren earth. And everything within the castle is all we got. And then if you were to leave by going too far west or east, we're on the east side of it. So if we were to go too far that way and we're suddenly out of the castle, we couldn't get back in. We'd be trapped out there. So if I were you, I'd probably stay in until we verified how far we are back in time. Because you never know.
You don't want to get out while we're still like in motion, right?
Right, we want to stay inside the castle as long as we can. Because way upstairs, about 100 miles, is a magical grocery.
Shit, that's fucking that's intense, man.
Yeah, no doubt. My wife thought I got crazy when I started remembering shit that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like the Star Wars is real, Star Trek is real. That's what she thought I really turned to, you know?
Yeah.
And I was wishing I could prove that shit, you know? Well, I tell you how I can prove magic is real.
How?
In Ignacio, Colorado, I'm sitting frozen in time at age 27 with a little spell book in my hand. Even though you couldn't reach the main book, I'm an incarnation of myself. Like some people from Durango were getting ready to come and kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And Becky Salazar, my girlfriend at the time, wanted me to have something special to help me. And so she had the lady, the tribe's medicine woman, go spell up on Arcane Spellbook of the 9th level. And she cast a sorcery on me to be able to open up this little spell book to as far as my most powerful self could. Because she had described that my main self that was capable of opening up to 9th level was frozen in time in this other book. And she even showed me the scrawl in the air visibly. And so I was able to open up the little book and memorize 50 spells. And then I cast Time Stop and then Major Incarnation. And then Becky and I came to the Time Stop and looked in. We saw the medicine woman and myself, and we couldn't get through the Time Stop, but halfway through it before we froze in time. So if someone would take a live cam to Ignacio to the medicine woman's place, they could see my 27-year-old self frozen in time that I'm an incarnation of.
Shit.
All right.
Yeah. And then to prove the Star Wars is real, there's a ship parked up by Calgary that no one can take off in but me. If you were to tell that I told you could come look at it, it might let you board, see the control stuff, but it would stop you from trying to damage any of it.
Let me get you another one, all right?
You got another question.
All right.
Oh, yeah. So this is, we're getting deeper into the tiers of the this listing here. And this one's called Animaster, Tier 5. And what do you know about bloodletting magic?
Well, I know more than a person would want to know. Maybe like a real witch only needs to bite her own cheek and get a drop of her own blood to see into the astral plane, to see clearly in her mind's eye anything that's really happening. Now, I, as an empath, can see empathically what they're seeing in my mind's eye, but I can't, my own self, take a drop of my own blood and see that clearly, simply because Eric is creating illusions from keeping me to see it. But I can see what they're seeing, perhaps. So the real truth is that a real witch, there's only 23 real witches that are powerful enough to do stuff that's like visible, like whoa type of magics. That's scary, like real. And those witches are the ones that can do such a thing. Like my ex-wife is one of those witches. But like one time, I'm sitting with my ex-wife, and suddenly she just snaps her fingers, and instead of having a TV there, suddenly we have a stereo system in a whole nother dimension. And I'm like, whoa, how in the hell is she hiding the stereo system? And then somewhere in there, she snapped us back to the TV.
Whoa.
Oh, like how long have I been living with my wife? She's a real witch, and how often does she pull this powerful shit on me? That's all I was.
Wait, so your wife was practicing bloodletting magic?
No, not necessarily like that. She's just such a powerful witch that she can, when she wants to, do powerful shit like that.
I feel it.
Say if somebody was pulling the wool over her eyes, like say several sorcerers were spelled up. Like, see, if you're a real sorcerer and you have arcane spells, once you're done expending those arcane spells, then you can then cast the same amount of sorceries up to the spell levels you had just memorized from.
I see.
That's how you get past the visibility factor. See, like, the only way to get past pandemonium, you can't do visible magics like levitating, fireball, just straight out, even if you're a powerful enough sorcerer to do so, unless you're arcane memorized first. And that's how Eric limited all of his sorcerers with the sorcery, so that we couldn't just fly around at will. Because if we weren't playing pandemonium, I could just go fly around
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, causing chaos. All right, well let's
Oh, there wouldn't be
Let's-
as many guys around. Let's just say that. Let's just say the real Louisiana purchase line is how far I can fly and kill when I'm spilled up.
Yeah.
And all the guys get right back behind it. Right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got another one for you here. This is tier 6 transcended. What do you know about human zoos?
Well, let's say the movie 8 Mile kind of really happened once, and they put me in a zoo because I'm one of the smartest guys. Like on the NASA IQ test, I scored 129 out of 129. I was the first one to brave taking it in the ancient Greek. And I really cast a visible sorcery of read magic, which exploded golden light, which the computer isolated and showed us at the end of the test that it had isolated me exploding the visible light to read magic, and said that people can look it up one day. And it showed how in the golden light, the physics of it were figured out by the magic of how to do so.
I see.
So I'm the only known sorcerer from NASA, and that popped up because I was doing puzzle.com, and I scored 2 moves sooner solving the puzzle than anybody else on the entire planet.
So, like, how does that connect specifically
And I've
to
taken
the how does that connect specifically to the zoos and such?
Okay, yeah, well, I'm getting back to that. Okay, so they put me inside of a room that had bars, and I was having a TV and a couch, and I talked to one of the black chicks. Like, the blacks were taking over at the time, and they killed off most of the white. This is an alternate dimension. This is one of the subplanes of Pandemonium. See, reality has all these different possibility side streams. That was one possibility that was like negated by just going to a different. I got her to fuck me through the bars until they just let me go.
Wait, you got her to fuck you? That rules, bro.
Fuck him through the bars until they let him go. Like, so.
Oh no, well, I mean, I remember this. Yeah, sometimes the black chicks they get ignored by the black dudes as they're going up to the white chicks.
Yeah.
So you were like, okay, I can hit this
route. A pretty
route.
one though. This one happened to be a pretty skinny one that was a more choice. You know, they decided to just let me go. Like, there's a few.
Yeah.
That rules. Hell yeah.
I love those vape pens. I find one on the ground every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean, actually, real quick random question. Black girls versus white girls. Which way you going, man?
I would choose the white women, actually, simply because, I don't know, like, there's a few hot blondes. Like, there was this mega hot blonde, like, up at the Watson, they had 2-hour study or till 2 a.m. open. And it was the first time I'd ever tried crystal meth, and I smoked just one hit of it. And I was wondering if some chick from the dorms had seen my lighter and come over and check it out. And sure enough, this hottest babe I'd ever seen, like, wow, that's the best one crystal meth I've ever smoked. She's like, I'll trade you a puddle of mine for just a hit of yours. I went, okay. And she's like, wow, that's the best fucking crystal meth I've ever had. And she pulled her pants down, and I'd only had one hit. I got 4 hits a few hours earlier. But when you have too many hits, trouble getting boners, your blood's trapped in your brain. But, you know, cupping and cup squeezing helps counter that. Well, anyway, another short story. I'd only had 1 hit, so I rose right up immediately. I fucked her, and then she was gone. Oh, no way did that happen. Nah, that didn't happen. I'm still wondering, did that really happen? I don't think I can pick out which chick she is either. But I'll just remember she was really fucking hot.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, to get back on topic.
Well, let me say one thing about me being Anakin Skywalker. Is that my battle with Dooku inside the starship was a real duel where I really cut his hands off. And I really took his head and got his quickening. But Dooku's on a real arcane spellbook on his home world. And he simply just sent another incarnation in his place. Like, that all didn't happen.
Yeah.
So that's why everybody thinks, you know, like, But really, Coruscant has gone dark
Yeah.
because of the squirrels.
Fucking squirrel.
Okay, now what we could do to prove that is that there is a little Star Wars squirrel thing in the downtown little circle park. One of those trees has a Star Wars squirrel base in it with subspace communication and everything. If we were to have a right kind of scanner to see through the tree, there you go.
Oh, does Lawrence have like a squirrel statue in the park or something like that?
No, it's a hollow tree. Part of it's in the tree.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I still haven't found it.
Yeah, well, I haven't found it either.
Shit.
But Eric turned me into a squirrel to part my brother, and I was a squirrel in it, so I know it's really existing because I've been a squirrel, and it's just like being a little human.
Oh.
Yeah.
That pushes
Yeah, my mom, she's a real witch. She's dead now, but my mom turned me into any kind of creature there was a long time ago. So I've actually been every single kind of creature there is, including the creature from the Black Lagoon, which was my favorite. Because as the creature from the Black Lagoon, I had a penis bone. That's
Okay. So you were the creature. He had a penis. Actually, that rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
all
the
right.
creature from the Black Lagoon.
Next question.
All right.
You guys are probably going to be like, no way. How do we prove? Send somebody up to Calgary with a cam on them. There's the starships in there. Send somebody to Nashville, Colorado, to the south side of town, right nearby the bars where the medicine room. You go to the window, you see me frozen in time at age 27 with a little arcane spellbook in my hand. Those two things are provable because they're there to be found.
I believe.
But it might send the world into total chaos because all these other guys that everybody accepts in society wondering why aren't they put in an arcane spellbook? Why would Sean give them this right to do so? And we'll just say before I was blackballed by everybody in society with the current charge I was put on the list for, I was one of people's most loved people before that.
Let's talk about lists.
Yeah, well, I'm almost off of it.
Anyways,
and now anything else you'd like?
Yeah. So now we're into tier 9. There's 10 tiers. We're in tier 9 right now.
So are we getting deeper, like into the?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. So I'll probably hit a couple from tier 9 and a couple from tier 10, just because there's some stuff here I want to talk about. What do you know about secret human organs?
Well, the movie The Sixth Day, it's pretty much something that really happened in our past.
With
And,
Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? That's got...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much kind of happened. Like, except the clone had a deficiency. They made the clones with deficiency so they would die after a few years.
Uh-huh.
And so that was a problem for the billionaire. His main body had been killed by me, actually. I can't even remember why. He tried to kill me in self-defense. I killed him. Thanks. I don't even remember why. But that stuff really kind of happened. And yeah, they can clone a human being and make a whole other human being. But we can make a whole other human self through the spell, Major Incarnation. So, like, once you reach that level of immortality where you're on an arcane spellbook, it's like a video game from there. Oh, you know, I got really 3 lives to expand, you know, so to speak. So
For
there's
sure.
a bunch of immortals. Like Duncan McLeod. I've whacked Duncan about 3 times. And
Who's Duncan McLeod? That sounds familiar.
he's the star of Highlander the series.
Oh yeah,
Adrian Paul.
Yeah.
Well, over at the Bram Stoker Dracula Castle, there's something they didn't know. Is that there's a real arcane spellbook at the top and there's a real arcane spellbook at the bottom. And one day Duncan came to challenge me to a duel, and he and I memorized. I was at the top one, he's at the bottom one. Now that spellbook is a special spellbook. It gives the incarnation of the spellbook the same number of spells as the caster, so it's like you got double spells. It's like a 9th level version of it. So he and I battled, and we teleported over to Los Angeles somewhere, and I had $1 million Sri Lanka, and I beat attacked. I'm actually a better sword fighter than Duncan. And I caught him in preparation, beat attack, got him through the spine, and then I whacked his head off. And he was spelled, he cast a time stop, but a second too late. I'd already cleared his head, and really quick, and he jumped over immediately. there were some watchers down below that had a hidden room down below that was partially in the time stop because it was a sphere that the time stop was in with about a 15-foot radius. And they brought me down as a watcher to show me the room and stuff. And I was at my mom's when a few of the quickenings jumped over years later. Like, he still hasn't even given up all those quickenings. But Duncan's still on the book there. Well, I was on the military base. Now, I was on the military base, and I had this female assistant when Duncan came to challenge me there at the base. And he had learned something from Kel. Like, I hit back with a saber, had a saber, and holding his katana, well, he stabbed me through with a knife. And I thought, well, he didn't think that one all the way through because I can just drop down my katana and ram him all the way through. Or my saber. So I dropped down my saber and I rammed him all the way through. Well, suddenly he teleported us inside of an empty building. And then he cast this cabinet spell, which you have to be the strongest man on the planet to be able to get through it. And so I know that I'm really like the strongest, even though I'm apparently.
I feel it.
I know this because you have to get through.
Let me ask you some other stuff here, Bub.
I turned a fireball.
Yeah, you're good, man.
That's cool.
Duncan's main's still on that book over there at the Bronx Sucker along with me too.
Can you help opening that?
We'll see the castles. Like in the castle by the sea, above the dungeon on it, there was a hidden spellbook room they didn't know about. That has the most ornate teleportation circle I've ever seen. It's like marble, inlaid gold. It's really thick gold with all of the scissors and that.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. All right, I got another one for you.
So yeah, like they can make a whole of themselves.
Yeah.
But they don't practice that really too much.
All right, Sean. So let me ask you about pyramids built by the Templar Order.
Well, I told you I've been through the Stargate. Let's just say that ship on top of the Stargate, that's real something that happened.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was actually with them when that happened. That movie was actually pretty much something that really did happen, except that I was there with them too.
Damn.
And I'll tell you something that, Kurt Russell, he played in the movie. Like, I was in California and I was on the street and Goldie Hawn came up to me and asked me if I wanted $100 or do I want $5 to go eat at McDonald's and have sex with her afterwards. I'll choose the $5.
Holy
and
shit.
Goldie Hawn?
Yeah, Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, primo babe. Hell yeah.
Got a fuck list that no one can top.
Well, let's just say that Kurt Russell came and fucked my wife, Kimberly.
So you guys traded babes, basically?
Basically,
that's pretty
right.
Pretty rad.
Right. Well,
all right.
I've been to the Stargate over there, okay? And I have seen that ship that landed on the pyramid. That ship was real, man. It's real. And
okay.
The alien races. The Stargates are real.
Let me ask you this.
All right. Nova, we need to get through. Nova's
for sure.
Explode.
Yeah.
One day. It's got a countdown timer on it of 20 years. I got a Congressional Medal of Honor for saving us by pulling out the timer and saving us, putting in a new timer. But there's only enough chemicals left to make one more pull. So by the 20 years from now, the world is for sure going to chunk apart. So we need to get through that Stargate to the next world.
I feel it.
Not only that,
I got one last one for you, though.
A neutron bomb, a universally cold wavelength.
You got one more.
All right, one more. This is we are now in. They don't even call it tier 10 technically. It's tier 0.
Oh shit.
The rebirth. It says underneath it says everything in the end becomes true.
No, wait.
What do you know about either Bank of Souls or Virus 23?
I do not know what Virus 23 is, but I do know that the plane of purgatory exists and that the plane of hell exists, and the plane of heaven is something that hasn't been actually achieved yet, but could possibly exist someday. Now,
have you been to heaven?
No, I haven't been to heaven Yeah, we're on a slow journey towards there. Possibly be like kind of like Valhalla. Say
Okay.
I'm like Enoch. As an immortal, I'll never die, but I might eventually get led up there by God.
I feel it.
Yeah, maybe there's like only going to be a few. Maybe that's the reward for the final male, the prize is like going to heaven or something like that.
I see.
You know, but to me, heaven's having a fucking chicks. So going down the ones, like only going down to one male, not whacking the chicks away. You know.
yeah.
We need like a block of chicks, and you know, really otherwise,
I feel it.
Now I have been down, like say Dante's Inferno. It's actually kind of like how hell really is. And I've been to all 9th levels of it, and the only way I escaped it was by discovering that I really do love myself, no matter what I've done in my past.
Yeah.
It was self-love that freed me from the bonds there, and then I came back.
Okay. Well,
believe it or not,
Sean, I think I've got like one more question for you, and then if Daniel's got some stuff, he can, ask you. But I think we got pretty good material here today. I'm really glad to interview. This has been a lot of fun. The last thing that I want to ask you is, what is your
verify that I'm a rock star?
Yeah. I mean, we don't, we're getting started out, so it's nice to do a podcast with somebody.
In a while, so like I think
yeah,
was actually one of my houseboys. I think that's my apartment over there, but he didn't tell me.
Sure.
So it could be that that's my rockstar apartment just right over there, up the block.
Well, and I will say, if Eric
officially.
Yeah. Well, I will say, if Eric the Green or Eric the Red ever wants to come on the podcast, he's more than welcome.
He'll kill anybody that finds out that he knows about him.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh shit!
We'll see.
Maybe not.
Eric the Green. Eric created a new main, and he's a green dragon, like over by speaking somewhere. There's an extra dimensional.
Yeah.
In the castle, like he's in one of the castle rooms. We're in a 120 mile tall castle.
Yeah.
Over there past Topeka, somewhere is Eric the Green as a green dragon.
For sure. Let me do a last question. I want to know what is and give me a little second to kind of really go in depth on this question, but we've had a lot of crazy stuff that's happened politically in like the last, not even just year, but the last 4 years and everything like that. So I was, given the climate that we live in nowadays and where we stand, as a country, I was kind of curious, like, are you a Biden guy or a Trump guy, and or not any of those guys? And like, what's your feeling on like the general political atmosphere that exists right now? Like, what's your view on Trump?
Trump's my pimp, man. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. My friend Delaney, he's against Trump. Everybody's against Trump. But if you ask me, he's taking a little bit too much flack. Now, as a rich guy, he's trying to do the right thing, and everybody's like just really harping on him too hard. There's a bunch of public opinion.
Sure.
Me, I don't try to get swayed. I don't know him personally. So I try not to judge anybody until I get to know him personally about anything. As a businessman myself, I've had to deal with pretty much anybody. And my own self has been blackballed and having a bad rep. I wouldn't mind having, they should have maybe just had the missus. See, who was it that, Mrs. Clinton that was running for president also?
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, Hillary Clinton. Why didn't they just have Hillary be the president?
Because Trump won.
Well, I know, but who's to say that it's really a bunch of bullshit? That maybe they did a recount and find out that Hillary really won.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So like, how do you feel about Biden?
I don't know the new people of what's going on. I'm on the street right now. So
For
I don't
sure.
know at all politically who's who, what's going on about all that. To me, it was like the end of the world. When this just first started happening, they closed down everything. There's no bathroom suddenly. There's no bar activity late at night to make money from.
I'd
It was the
imagine.
real end of the world.
Yeah, what's it been like for like coronavirus for you? Like what's your
Well,
experience
to me,
been
it's like the Black Plague. Like I'm an immortal survived the Black Plague. It's really what we're having. It's the Black Plague.
So you're not worried about it?
Yeah,
Like
he-
Well,
personally?
I'm a carrier. I'll tell you why I know it's really the Black Plague, and they renamed it. Is because the guy out at the jail that's got the white hair broke into the
Yeah.
control center, and he put the Black Plague on the appeals page. So when I appealed my charge, I ended up opening it up. It's something that gives you a fever for like 12 hours, and then the fever just keeps coming back again. But you feed the fever, and it dissipates over time. All this pass the fever back and forth. As you conquer the fever over and over again, you grow resistance to it. And then, so basically, like the common cold and stuff, it's basically the Black Plague has been coming back over and over again. And everybody just kind of blew it out of proportion. It's like they shouldn't have called it the Black Plague. They should have called it maybe the fever, or like maybe the scarlet fever or something like that.
Mhm.
Maybe that's
I
what the
see.
scarlet fever really is. But I'll tell you,
Well,
you know what we found out is that crystal meth really cures it.
Oh shit!
wait,
Yeah,
crystal meth cures it?
cures it. About six good bitches.
Junkhead exclusive right here. Like,
Crystal meth makes you feel like, say you're feeling a little bit out and down out. 6 good rollies of that, and you'll be like feeling totally better. Now they might hit you with. They've come up with some homemade versions of it that they amped it up. So as soon as they see you feeling a little bit better, they might hit you with it again, and you might think, "Hey, it didn't cure me," but it's really them. They're trying to kill off all the drug users and stuff. They're just trying to get rid of us all. So the cops have this new kind of system where they can just snake on in some kind of a video game thing and steal it right out of your bowl, steal your puddle right out of the bowl, and then they can,
What?
yeah.
holy shit, I didn't know they go that level. Damn.
Yeah, we need to stop that. We need to make some kind of helicopter thing that can break in, override the system, and download their storage copper into it and fly away and watch the cops. Why is the storage copper emptying? I'd love to see that one.
Well, Daniel, do you have any questions?
I'm gonna guess you're not a fan of police.
Well, actually, I was once a cop. But
Oh,
I shot Rick, downtown plays guitar. A long time ago, I was sitting on the street with a badge and gun. And he said, no, we can't have some cops sitting down here on the street. And he started pulling his gun over and over again. And I could tell when suddenly he was really going to pull to really shoot me. And I pulled faster and shot him. So I took away my badge.
When was this?
I was about 28 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rick's actually, I think Rick's actually one of the Aussies, one of the original Aussies.
yeah.
So downtown is the other Aussie, playing every day. And he probably
Son of a
doesn't,
gun.
told him that he doesn't remember that I was the one that shot him. As soon as he does remember that, people remind him that, he's probably going to shoot me again.
Hell yeah.
Now, I went to the New York Police Academy, and it was cum laude. I didn't make a single mistake on my test. I was the only one that graduated cum laude.
Okay.
And most of the other guys missed the knife question. Like, generally speaking, a knife is considered A, a weapon, B, a tool. I, of course, know there's only 5 knives that are actually considered weapon knives. And so I wrote down it's generally considered a tool. Whereas all the other guys wrote down as a weapon.
Nice.
Siджin, that's like one of the weapons knives. It's like a religious dagger, and there's like big bow. I can't remember the exact 5 knives that are considered weapon knives. Yeah,
I'd imagine like a Bowie knife or a K-bar or something like that.
a lot of the homeless people now are actually deep undercovers, and that the guys in the badges aren't even checking whether we have deep undercover status or not. They're just shooting us and trying to kill us for smoking crystal meth.
That's shitty.
Those
It is.
fucking bastards.
Those fucking bastards. Exactly.
For real. Well, Daniel, anything else, my man?
No, I think we're good, man. I fucking think we got some good content.
All right.
Right on.
Let me do like a little outro, and we'll call this thing call this thing quits
Now,
here.
I could pull down my dreadlocks maybe and see if you recognize these while on me.
Yeah, actually,
They could have matted together. I'm not sure how well they'll separate.
yeah, let
out.
the dreads down, man. Let's see it.
Okay. So they look completely different with them down. Now I haven't taken my hair tie down for a few days. You got a mirror right here, so I can break them apart maybe.
I start to see the resemblance.
My hair's kind of like. It is so hard to get the hair tie out sometimes. I'd say that was tied back together. Oh, let's see. It's hard to even see where that sucker was coming.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man.
No. I want to see if y'all. Okay, that one's got one more thing around it. Well, don't worry about that. Okay, let's see. I'm bringing my hair down. Oh wow! Look how not even attractive looking it is. I had it.
Yeah, like fucking, there, like you can't see, but fucking,
Here.
there is a resemblance.
Well, I had them cut apart real good the other day.
Yeah, like
I had
fucking,
Oh shit! Yeah.
yeah, like fucking like White Zombie era.
Well,
Rob
I was
Zombie.
in White Zombie.
Yeah.
I actually bought a house with one of my rollies with the chick in the band, but she's living in it right now. That's her and I's house.
Yeah, fuck yeah, he's spot on with that.
But we
For
hired
real,
Ed. Ed has black dreadlocks, and I used to live at 2016 New Hampshire in the little cabin in the back, and well, it's like I can get it looking better. Like I had to cut through. You can see where I cut a few of them out to get. That's a mess. That's why I keep it tied back a lot. Okay, well, basically, I had my hair combed out.
Yeah.
And some guys behind me at Link tied my hair into a fan. They tied my hair into locks while I was eating. I combed it out. So, and I didn't realize I only combed out every couple weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
And they had tied it into a fan mat all the way in the bottom. And I went, no way. I couldn't get it out, so I just had to cut it apart a little bit. Like the last
Fucking
time.
Thunder Kiss 65 right here, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you look at that one has the big B in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well my last name is Bedient.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obedient.
Sean Beatty here.
Bedient.
All right.
Like obedient or disobedient.
Let me just say, Sean, I'm super glad that you came on the pod. I appreciate that. It's been an absolute blast to talk to you today. Daniel, always as well. Good to see you. Good to talk to you.
It's been very interesting. I'm glad you all listened to my answers, top secret stuff, and not thrown back a bunch of negative
No.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
we're not that type at all, man.
Well, most of the time, I drove my wife away from me. Even remembering anything like that suddenly out of the blue was really true.
Yeah.
She thought I'd lost my fucking marbles, and most of the
Well, anytime you need a place to talk, my man, we'll listen to you, my man. That's for sure. We
well, I can prove though, if you really send somebody up to Calgary to the hill up there is a Star Wars ship sitting there, and if you really send somebody to Nashville, Colorado, I'm sitting there with a little arcane spellbook at age 27 with dreadlocks.
We'll see if we can get some of the listeners out there to send us some pics in.
Now I might start total.
But on that note,
on that note, have you ever seen Warehouse 13?
no. What's Warehouse 13?
It's a show where all the magic items to get people in trouble were put in a warehouse up in South Dakota. And I used to work at the warehouse.
Yeah.
And so I know Warehouse 13 is a place that really exists.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, another pod, we'll get into Warehouse 13 for sure. On that note, gentlemen, you all have a good day. Take it easy and be safe.
All right.
Junkhead is out.
All right.
Out.
Have a good day.
See ya.